With us now is Congresswoman Nancy Mace, a Republican, South Carolina, and her district includes, by the way, Charleston and some of these very hard-hit areas. Congresswoman, how are things there now?
Well, I'm looking out the windows right now, and we see the calm after the storm. Most of the rain and wind has significantly died down. But just north of here, about an hour north of Charleston, South Carolina's coast may be seeing the largest storm surge since Hurricane Hugo 33 years ago. Pawleys Island, Garden City, Litchfield Beach, those areas have been hardest hit. About an hour north of here, the images are harrowing, very similar to Florida, seeing the storm surge of 7 to 9 feet at high tide. A lot of damage will be suffered up there. And I just got off the phone with the governor's office moments ago. We're seeing fluctuations of power outages between 70 and 100,000, give or take. We just got power back here on Isle of Palms recently, moments ago as well. We're grateful that Charleston was not as hard hit as we were supposed to be, but to the folks north of us, we're going to be working hard to help clean up that area just before Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, and you were quoting your governor, Congresswoman Henry McMaster, who said the storm was very dangerous and it's better than it could have been, but it's still pretty bad. I'm wondering, just for you and your daughters going through this, what was that like?
Well, I sent my kids out to their grandparents' house yesterday afternoon to help them. I've been urging folks to communicate with your neighbors, especially the elderly, those that might need assistance during this time. And as soon as we get off of this right now, Neil, I'm going to send the kids back outside to help clean up some of the debris that we're seeing now that it's a bit safer to do that.
Good.
I'm putting them to work.
No, there you go, like a good mom. You know, Congressman, it's interesting too, and you know your area far better than I do. It's a beautiful area, been there many, many times, and I'm thinking of all the building and expanding that's been going on. It's one of the hottest areas in the country that people have gone to, much as they have in Florida. So you have all of this buildup, and I'm just wondering if that development made things a little trickier.
It is. And in fact, the 1st congressional district that I represent is the 10th fastest growing district in the entire country. The state of South Carolina, much like Florida, we're in the top 3 or 4 in terms of states where people are moving to over the last 2 years. We've seen enormous growth. And when you have that kind of development, it's very difficult for the infrastructure to keep up. And then when you build out the infrastructure, maintaining that infrastructure is much more expensive because you're on the ocean, you have salt water, and it's much more difficult to maintain because of the expense of it. And so that is something that we're also looking at. I'm grateful to Governor Henry McMaster, who did an emergency order on Wednesday, and President Biden approved it yesterday, so that if we need access to federal resources and funding to help with some of the fixing and redeveloping and rebuilding after this disaster north of here, we're going to have that ability to do that. So I'm grateful to both of them at the federal and the state level, everybody working together.
That's good to hear. What's also good to hear is it's possible to tell kids to do some work and they actually do it. I'll convey that to my sons. But Congresswoman, thank you very, very much. Good seeing you again.
Thank you, Neil.
All right.